As a parent of a student in high school, I have unfortunately been through the fear of school in lockdown. This is the reason why I haven't said anything about the school shooting that happened in Minnesota, my native state. I'll never forget it because 2 years ago, real close to winter break, my daughter texted me and she said, "Hey, mom, I just want to let you know that we're on lockdown." And I said, "Okay, what's going on?" And she said, "Well, they're telling us that somebody's here with a gun." And in the moment, I was so calm. I do really well in crazy situations at remaining calm. I said, "Okay, well, everything's going to be okay. Let's get dad on a group chat." In my mind, I was thinking, I will fucking run over to that school. I will fucking enter that school and I will get my goddamn kid like I am a fucking cheetah. But keep in mind, even though I clicked into that mode, I was scared to death. So we get her dad on a group chat, and it really was a test for my family to experience this during a real situation to see how we would handle it. My mind, I was going to be a crazy fucking cheetah and run over there and get my kid. No shooter was going to take my child out. Her dad, however, remained calm and he asked questions that I would have never thought about. "What are you wearing today? What classroom are you in? Are there windows in your classroom?" Makes me cry. "Do you have a window in the door of your classroom? Is there a closet? Which building are you in?" All of these questions I would have never thought about. I live in a big city. I think there's 2,000 people or more in my daughter's high school. And the way that the local police department handled this was seamless. There was a excellent communication from our school about what was going on. And then, even though we live in this big giant city, there was excellent communication about how law enforcement got to the school, how long it took them to get there, how many people were there. And we even got a message that said, "Just want to let you know there's going to be a helicopter flying over campus." And it was like, cue the helicopter. They were surveying the top of the school because it's massive and they were looking for other shooters. After 4 long hours, the lockdown was lifted. And the story was that somebody did come to school with a gun. It is confirmed. And this person, a student, brought a gun to school in a pizza box. And I guess when that person got to school, they changed their mind. They didn't want to use the gun. And somebody knew that this was happening, that this person had brought a gun to school. And so a student reported it to a security officer at school. And I'm very proud of my city for how fast they snapped into place. The police came rushing in, but it wasn't this crazy loud siren. I mean, I really feel like everything was stealth mode. It was so impressive. And, anyways, the student reported it to a security officer who called the police. And the reason why we were on lockdown for hours is because they couldn't find the gun. My daughter's dad was able to pick her up from school, and we were all able to go home and be safe in our homes that night. It wasn't until the next day when I said to my daughter, "I just feel so sad that this is what you guys go through at school, and that you guys aren't taking cover and doing practice runs for tornadoes and earthquakes. You're doing practice runs for how to survive a school shooting." This is the true reality of being an American parent and having an American student. It doesn't matter if they go to public school, private school, it's everywhere. So when I was telling my daughter that I was so sad that that's what they go through now when they're in school, she was like, "Well, we trained for this." And I broke down in tears. I could not stop crying for days, thinking that our children are brainwashed to think that this is just part of life because they don't know any other way. I'm telling my story not to minimize what's happened to families that are victims of these horrific school shootings. I'm telling my story that as somebody that went through a lockdown and we were okay, it's traumatizing. And I don't know how you ever truly recover from a real life situation like what happened in Minneapolis yesterday. How do you recover from that as a teacher, as a student, as a parent, as a sister, as a brother? It is beyond comprehension how horrible it is and how in our country It's just no big deal anymore. In my opinion, we need reform. Sadly, every single time we have one of these school shootings, it's my understanding that firearm sales and ammunition sales goes through the roof because everybody's afraid of having their firearm rights taken away. And we need to do something different. You would think after Sandy Hook, after Uvalde, that we would have made some major changes it, in respect for these innocent babies going to school. We have to make a change. We have to respect mental health. The funding for mental health has to stop being cut. I mean, we have to make a change, you guys. We just have to.